Hello, I am Dr. Markethia Mull, and I have obtained my PhD in Organizational Development and Leadership from Ashford University. The title of my dissertation was The Influence of Schools Principals' Communication Style on Experienced Teacher Job Satisfaction. Problem statement. Only 39% of experienced teachers in the United States indicated that they are very satisfied with their job. One of the reasons cited for a decline in teacher job satisfaction is principals' communication. Purpose of the study. The purpose of the study was to determine the influence that school principals' communication style has on experienced teacher job satisfaction. Conceptual framework. Motivating language theory was the conceptual framework and a foundational theory of leadership communication that guided the 3 research questions for the study. A synopsis of the findings will be discussed later in the presentation. Research method and design. Qualitative descriptive case study was the method used because I was able to explore the specific phenomena in a real-life context and provide a comprehensive detailed description and summarization of the events. The sample came from non-descriptive snowball sampling via network chain referral, which started by recruiting 2 initial participants who, after answering the questionnaire, referred other individuals to generate additional participants from a specific population. The sample was 12 certified elementary school teachers with 5 or more years of experience in a public school setting in metropolitan Houston, Texas. The data collection instruments were survey questionnaire for phase 1 and interview for phase 2. Phase 1 mapping. This is a figure that represents a visual summary of data collection and data analysis for phase 1 using the first 3 steps of Yin's 5-step model. The steps help with manually sorting, coding, grouping, and comparing the data to the motivating language scale, which resulted into 14 categories, then classified to the motivating language construct. The graphic is a process flow that others could use to replicate the study. The information from phase 1 was a precursor for phase 2. Phase 2 mapping. This figure is a visual mapping of the data collection and data analysis for phase 2. Interviews. Using in vivo software to disassemble and reassemble the data and the first 3 steps of Yin's data analysis model to identify 14 themes that emerge from scrutinizing the data. This graphic is a process flow that others could use to replicate the study. Interpretation of the findings. Research question 1. How does the principal communicate with teachers on a daily and weekly basis? The 7 verbal communication platforms were morning and afternoon announcements, walkthroughs, professional learning communities, faculty meetings, professional development, and emergency meetings. The 5 written expression platforms were daily and weekly emails, memorandums, monthly calendars, and shout-out blogs. For the 14 themes, changes, expectations, teacher focus, and student achievement help to answer this research question. The findings suggest that direction-giving language was the dominant motivating language construct. Research question number 2. How does the principal's communication influence the teacher job satisfaction? The 4 influence factors were dissemination of information, planning, clarity, and principal's leadership style. The 4 factors influenced job dissatisfaction were unintentional and unstructured communication, written reprimands, situation or inconsistent praises, and lack of concerns. 6 of the 14 themes, collegiate relationship, expectations, feedback, leadership, teacher focus, and team, help to answer this research question. The research study results implied that direction giving and empathetic language were the dominant motivating language constructs. Research question number 3. How does the principal's communication motivate the teacher in terms of influencing job satisfaction? The motivational influence factors were morale, culture, teacher and stakeholders, and collegiality. The motivational influence factors for job dissatisfaction were harsh and condescending tones, coercion, placing blame for shortcoming, and a lack of support. 7 dominant themes of the 14 themes: collegial relationship, morale, culture, professional well-being, reward system, and teacher focus help to answer this research question. The research study findings inferred that direction given, empathetic, meaning-making language were equally evident in the responses. Teacher job satisfaction in the United States started declining in the late 1980s, and based on the findings, principal communication was vital to teacher job satisfaction and district job satisfaction. The figure that will be represented on this slide is an extension of the research questions and provides an explanation and demonstration how the figures are integral to principals' communication and teacher job satisfaction with the context in a circular communication flow. The principal disseminate information using various communication platforms throughout the day to connect the information to daily operations activities horizontally and vertically. The principal employs direction-giving language, empathetic language, and meaning-making language to disseminate the information to the teacher. As the information moves and filters through the communication process, the teacher decodes the information and connect the information to their role and position in the organization in terms of motivation and job satisfaction, such as changes, expectation, professional well-being, teacher-focused, and team. The teacher communicates their needs and concerns about the advancement of their knowledge, skills, and ability towards an upward trajectory for the future. The principal uses their intelligence strategically to understand, prepare, scaffold, support, motivate, and influence teachers to become an effective and efficient teacher. The continuous circular flow of exchanging of information, high involvement, prioritizing, and investing in the welfare of teachers led to successful outcomes for teachers with a greater sense of ownership, increased participation and commitment, which heightened teacher job satisfaction. It is the verbal and nonverbal communication that fuel engagement or disengagement, and reciprocity, more importantly, influence teacher job satisfaction. Implication and research for the future. Research implications refer to the impact that research might have on future research or the relevant field. One of the implications that was drawn that motivating language theory can assist principals in using effective communication with teachers. Another implication is being genuinely responsive to teachers' concerns will result in greater teacher engagement and commitment. A practical implication confirms that motivating language influences job satisfaction as a positive predictive outcome. Recommendations for the future. As scholarly practitioners start to conduct motivating language theory research outside of healthcare, higher education, government, military, and Fortune 500 companies using primarily quantitative research, future research studies should use qualitative research because it will broaden the scope of motivating language theory in K-12 education. These references represent 5% of the total references used in my dissertation. The research was demanding, but the dissertation was rewarding, and I am grateful for my chair and committee member. This concludes my presentation, and thank you for your time.